Yo guys, it is Remaker92 here, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I wanted to be talking about what I think might be one of the worst movies out there in existence. Before I start this video, I just wanted to say sorry for missing yesterday's upload. I was actually watching Transformers the last night, which led me to this video idea. I just want to clear up that this is not going to turn into a movie review. I just wanted to talk about how bad this movie is, because it is extremely bad. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start and talk about how bad this movie is. So, first of all, let's start off with the plot. So, the plot is actually probably one of the worst parts about this movie. It's so lazy and it's so awful, and it's kind of the same plot as every other movie. So here's what happened. So in the first movie, if you remember, there was the cube, or whatever. It was the cube, and in this movie, he takes his shirt, one of his shirts, and a piece of that cube was stuck to his shirt. He drops the piece, and he picks it up, and the dude literally has a seizure. Like, he starts going crazy. He sees all these symbols, these signs, these voices in his head. And you know what obsessed me the most about this plot is that in the first movie, he had the whole thing in his head. So why didn't he go crazy then? Exactly. It's literally the laziest plot out there. And I think, like, I think I read somewhere that there was some type of something went wrong during filming or the process of making this movie. I don't exactly know. I don't exactly care, but that at least could have made a better plot than this. And if it sounds familiar, it is familiar because it's basically the exact same plot in every single movie. They're always after something. In this movie, they were after the Matrix of Leadership. In the first movie, it was the cube. The third one, it was the pillars. The fourth one, it was the seed. The fifth one, spoiler alert, it was the staff. It's basically the same exact idea, the same exact plot. And then, the other thing that annoyed me the most is that there wasn't that much Optimus Prime in this movie. There wasn't that much Transformer-like stuff in this movie. This movie doesn't even deserve the name Transformers, because it was distracting by all this other bullcrap and all this other nonsense that when, you finally saw, like, the Transformers, you didn't really care. For instance, there was this one scene where they had dog humping, which is something that I cannot unsee. And if you know the actor, John Turturro, he was in this movie. They showed his butt for whatever reason, which I cannot unsee. Like, it's literally glued to my mind. Like, it's just... the one thing that I could say that I did like about this movie was the acting sort of got better. For instance, Megan Fox, I know there was a lot of criticism that she got. Not that many people liked her in Transformers. I can definitely say that, I kind of liked her a little more than I did in the first movie. She did improve a lot, and props up to that. And another thing that I liked about this movie is that, of course, just like in every Transformers movie, the special effects were pretty good. They were pretty decent, and I enjoyed looking at them. They also had this is kind of in every Transformers movie, but they had these racial stereotypes. The twins were accused of a lot of racial stereotypes, which they kind of were. So, of course, it's going to have that Michael Bay, stereotypes, the sex jokes, and also, Sam's parents, played by Shia LaBeouf, his parents were so annoying. Like, I felt like I had a migraine whenever they were performing. Like, I don't know why, but I don't know why they chose the character for them, but they're just so annoying. I couldn't stand them. It was very annoying. Not also to mention that they had all these other subplots. These extra... It was like basically maybe 6 movies in one. It had all these different plots into one. It was like a big mixture. And it had all these cliches in it that you see and a lot of movies, and it just wasn't all... It was kind of like the way it impacted you as an audience member. It was just like a mishmash in your brain. Like, you're like literally watching this movie. I had to go over it and watch it maybe another time before I did this review, because it was so much cramped into one movie. It was ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. Also, another thing, if you remember how I was talking about the plot and how I said it was lazy, there's this one scene where Sam, he breaks his hand, and Megan Fox, or Mikhail, I don't really exactly remember her name, the character that she was playing, but she wraps it up with these bandages, which are obviously real life, medically applied staff. It was clearly and obviously like a real life legit, cast on this arm. And, I understand that he hurt himself during filming, but seriously, you couldn't at least maybe, I don't know, canceled the filming for that moment, or at least wait, or I try to do something, okay? It is, no, like, they choose this for whatever reason. Literally lazy. So freaking lazy. Now, one thing that I would say, another thing that's cool about this movie is that they had oh my god, the Devastator. And if you don't know what the Devastator is, he's basically this, he's a Constructicon, which means he has all these other Transformers, and they combine into one big Transformers. You get the point. But basically, he has balls. For whatever reason, they decided it would be cool to let him have balls. Which, gotta give him an Oscar for that, huh? And another thing is that, really ticks me off is that this movie made an incredibly high amount of money because Michael Bay promised a lot of stuff in this movie that never really ended up being in this movie. It's like, have you ever seen a movie where you see something really, really cool in the trailer, right? You go to see the movie because of these few things that you saw in the trailer, but guess what? They end up not being in the movie, just like in Suicide Squad. Remember all these, in the trailers that how they showed the Joker a lot, all these different cool shots and scenes of the Joker. But to be honest with you, he didn't really have that much screen time in the actual movie, which ticked me off. And not to mention, that was with Transformers 5 too. They had marketed that Optimus was going to be evil in Transformers 5, but if you had watched the actual movie, you know that he wasn't really that evil that much. And just like in this movie, he wasn't in the movie that much. So, spoilers. And not to mention that this movie was long. It was extremely long. It was so dragging and it was boring. And another thing that, kind of ticked me off, and this kind of ticked me off for all the other movies too, is Megatron. If you remember the first movie, Megatron died. He dies in like almost every movie, and they find some way to bring him back to life. What I would have liked to seen to bring like a lot more, I guess, something more fun to the story, or just something to make this movie unique, it would if they had a different villain. And, if they didn't really want to change it up, then they could at least, not have killed them in the last movie. But anyway, that's going to sum up my initial thoughts of this movie. Let me know what you thought of this movie in the comments below. Honestly, this movie is so bad. Like, it's one of my most hated movies ever. And if you guys want to see more of these type of videos where I rant on about movies, let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for the support in my last video. Thank you guys so much for understanding me. Understanding why I didn't want to do those filming videos anymore. So yeah, that's going to go ahead and wrap up the video here. Like I said, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.